Spokeswoman for James says Andrew Cuomo can continue to deny the truth, but the facts do not lie. I'm Ed Donahue.
You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
Armstrong and Getty.
I've run into situations where maybe it's an argument about Israel or, 100 other topics, where you get to the point where you say to somebody, there are two awful choices here, and only two. Which one do you think we, the United States or Israel or whomever, ought to do? And they will always retreat to, no, there's got to be another way.
Weekday mornings at 9 on the Mighty 990 and 107.9 FM KWAM.
Okay, sometimes I do fiddle around, but not when selling your real estate. You want the most you can possibly get for your property, and selling with Walker Auctions online by competitive bidding could be the best way to liquidate your land, home, or contents. Call Eric Walker at 901-491-0793 and let me explain how our system of selling works. That's 901-491-0793, or go to our website, walkerauctions.com. When it comes to selling, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around.
The following program is a paid presentation. The views and/or opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Starnes Media Group or KWAM.
Live from Memphis, Tennessee, it's Memphis Entertainment Weekly with DJ Gates and Jill Santibanez, bringing you everything from Memphis celebrities, music, movies, and more. Don't miss a beat with Memphis Entertainment Weekly. And now, DJ Gates and Jill Santibanez.
I realized the intro, all I do is monkey around with this microphone.
I know.
I got here
told you to get ready.
Here 30 minutes early. We were here 30 minutes before we started.
He was walking around the
And Jill
studio.
literally
I said,
told
come
me,
back. He's so
for the
fidgety.
past minute, she said, your microphone's covering your face. You don't have your headphones on.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. What's up in Memphis Entertainment? We have so many things happening right now. Did y'all know Wink Martindale was in town? A buddy of ours will be on the show in just a little bit. His name's Mark Randall. And he's a single, successful guy that may have a girlfriend now. We don't know. We're going to cover that today. Maybe.
He works
maybe
at the
not.
DeSotoTimesTribune.
He's driving in from Arkansas. And
DeSoto County.
yeah. So he saw Wink Martindale. He was there during the Ellis birthday week.
We have a very exciting lineup. Mark's going to be here, Mark Randall from DeSoto Times, and then we're also going to have a call-in from Nashville, an award-winning recording artist that we're so lucky to work with. Her name is Amanda Page Cornett, amandapagecornett.com, and she's great. She's going to call in and talk about her music.
She's awesome. She records at Muscle Shoals, and there's a really cool thing that I read this week. I guess we can jump around a little bit.
Sure.
There's a video out there, and it's the making of Freebird, and it talks about the producer and the record label that actually, back whenever Freebird came out, I think it was a 9-minute song, and we have a record label, Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records.
That's right.
And hi to Kitty. I promised her that we're going to talk to her this week, and I thought I'd give her a shout out about her music. We're going to have a new country music artist that's out of Memphis that's pushing in Nashville, so we'll share her on Nashville Entertainment Weekly. But
Kitty Jerry.
Yeah, but they were talking about how hard it is to pitch. He said, we're pitching a 9-minute song to radio. But, I mean, look at Freebird. Everybody calls for Freebird.
An incredible intro.
So if you got something a little bit different, that's maybe something that's going to break out and be a little bit different. I personally believe in doing something totally different than if there's a crowd doing one thing, go do something different. Go do something totally in the opposite. Like do your own radio show, Memphis Entertainment Weekly, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on KWAM and the Power 990 FM 107.9.
Let's talk about the Golden Globes. So the nominations happened January 23rd, which was just recently, right? Which was this week. So a lot came in. So Oppenheimer is up for 13 nominations.
I don't go see movies I can't spell the title of.
Poor Things is up for 11 nominations. Barbie, which we've been watching with our daughter Annalisa, is up for 8 nominations.
So I Can Dance. I love that song, and we found the video.
Yes,
from
we love Dua Lipa.
Yeah, so I'd heard her music before.
She's cool.
And I found her on Pandora, and I'd never seen her before. She's
she's a great pop
Hispanic,
artist.
Latino. She is amazing.
She's amazing.
She could have been in the Barbie movie.
Yeah, and then, of course, around here in Memphis at the Orpheum, Disney Princesses is coming out for those who have kids. We always look for fun stuff.
Mark Randall said
March
that
5th.
he's slow going. He's coming over the bridge in West Memphis. Dude, take your time.
And then
bring donuts.
March 8th at the Landers is Disney on Ice. We've been there a few times.
We've been to that twice from Kimberly and Mark. that gave us tickets
at the
for that.
newspaper, DeSoto Times.
We have
Yes, thank you.
Landerson. Are they coming in next weekend?
Next week, you guys.
Huge
we're gonna
concerts.
have
They had a
Lander
rodeo
Center
last
here.
weekend. They had a tractor pull.
They're in South Haven, Mississippi.
I believe it's on May 4th, 5th, something like that.
It's an incredible venue.
Yeah.
It is. They have so many things. TJ actually last
Free
year had the
parking.
opportunity.
Free parking usually.
Yes, TJ had the opportunity last year to actually MC some soccer games.
I told him, I said, dude, I don't know anything about soccer.
It was cool.
And all I knew was go.
Yeah.
But I got paid, and it was James Pest Management, which I think is one of
course.
the sponsors from KWAM. And then it
We
was
went.
nice.
Our daughter and
They
I
asked
went.
me
Annalise
once.
and I.
I filled in.
We got excited about it. And Annalisa really likes the soft pretzels, the big soft
You know
pretzels
who
that they have at Landers. They're good.
The girls that play soccer, to me, are
They're
more aggressive.
tough.
I told Jill, I said, don't come for the men. Just bring in Elisa because she was 4 back then. I said,
She
bring her.
loved it.
Let her watch soccer. Dude, those
Yeah.
girls are there to win it. And there's a couple of them that hit hard.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So-
you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, it
And
was
they
at
run fast.
Memphis Americans, right here in the Mid-South, right over the state line. So
They're awesome. I personally, I love running, and I love because I have endurance for
you're
distance.
running faster if somebody's chasing you or if you're chasing somebody.
But you know what? Soccer is it's like a lot of sprints. I am
A lot
not a
of running.
sprinter.
They-
Yes, I'm
yeah.
an endurance.
The only soccer movie I know about is
Bend
Bend It Like Beckham.
Bend It Like Beckham is great.
I never
love
saw
Keira
it.
Knightley.
I just thought it was a cool name.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can we talk about? We have Wink Martindale was in Graceland a couple. Now he's 90 years old. He looks great. He looked like a teenager. So he was a game show host. He started out with his dance party show in Memphis years ago, back in the 50s. I guess it was. I'm guessing it was before my time.
Okay,
So that was kind of cool. Wink Martindale, I saw that they had a picture with him. He was Graceland.
that's so nice. So Reba's going to sing at the national anthem for the Super Bowl.
We're going to share our Reba stories because we got a couple of them.
I know we love Reba, and we in Nashville, we see a lot of great people. We
We were
interview
in
a
El
lot of great
Palenque.
people.
It's like a place hidden in Green Hills.
Yes,
That's the best Mexican.
Our Mexican food place.
You
we
see
loved.
someone, we said Alison Krauss. We saw Rascal Flatts and Faith Hill came in there with their daughters on a
Faith Hill was
Saturday.
beautiful.
And the daughters made her sit in the other booth because like Faith Hill wasn't cool enough to sit with the teenage girls.
She
I'm
is
sure
super cool.
they're groaning over it. But we were sitting there one day and then Reba was next to us. And it's like, we're going to be cool, not bother her. So we knew the owner and we went out and said, hey, man, just right on the back, I'm going to put on the back of my card. I bought her lunch today. Turns out we had a huge record label man that we had bought lunch for at the same time. And then Reba, and she sent us an email. And I just think that's so cool.
She said a thank you.
I was
Mhm.
working Maitre D at the big steakhouse with Angelo Ferrante, Cane Prime.
Right.
And when she came in there, it was for the George Strait concert that he was there, and they had so many big stars. And Reba came in with Blake and Miranda and Martina McBride, and it was cool. But she was leaving, and they were all going to perform with him for singing George Strait songs. And then somebody said, Reba needs a green tea. She forgot to take green tea with her, so I got to make her green tea back in the kitchen and take it
Cool.
out to her big fancy car. And I gave her she said, what do I put it in? I said, you can keep the glass, Reba. And one night
that's nice.
we were at Kroger, and it was on a Sunday, and Annalisa was very young, and I had a hoodie on, and Annalisa might
Our
have
little baby
like
girl.
given me some stains on my shirt and I had to go get something for her. And then there was Reba, and we sat there and talked 15 minutes. What a sweetheart. And now
Yes,
she's
very
singing.
personable.
Yeah, and she's going to be on American Idol.
She's great.
Is it
And
American Idol or America's Got Talent?
What's great about Reba is
Radio, you're kind of on your own with your answers.
she does television, she does film, she is so creative. She does gospel music. She won a Dove
She was
Award.
the Dove Awards, and
That's
the
right.
Thomas sisters got to sing backup for her in the
Yes.
choir
Hey, Thomas
at
sisters.
Belmont. They're
Yes.
not listening.
They're awesome.
Those girls are sleeping in.
They're in Franklin and in the Nashville area. So we're gonna have Sam Reichard. He's on hold right now. Should we talk
Sam
to our
Reichard's on
weatherman?
hold. Did y'all know it's raining outside? I didn't know that we did it right at the top of the hour. Let's bring Sam on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sam, we're talking about entertainment. Who's the most famous person you ever met?
Larry Gatlin.
Oh, the Gatlin brothers. I bet he was
In
nice.
fact, I sang with the Gatlin brothers one time.
Wait a
What?
minute.
Sam is a singer.
Sam is
This
a singer.
news?
The singing
Yeah, I know,
weatherman.
back when I was a mayor and there was Haley Barber was campaigning for governor.
Love Haley Barber.
He came through on a bus with Larry Gatlin and stopped at the Olive Branch City Park, and we all the governor and myself and Larry Gatlin sang that song, All the Gold in California. Yeah,
Let's sing it right now. You ready, Sam? Let's go.
No, we're not
All
gonna do
the
that right now.
gold in California.
That's right.
In a
I'm
bank
from
in Beverly
California.
Hills.
Bank in the Beverly Hill and somebody else's name. Jill's like,
That's
let me
right,
Google
yeah.
it later.
This is a great song.
We
so
were going to
far.
start a new segment every week, and we're going to let people give it a song. And we were going to try to sing the lyrics to the song, see if we got it right. We just did our first time.
You
Thanks,
did a
Sam.
great job, Sam.
That's
Let's talk about the weather.
It's raining. And
Well,
it's
it's kind of dreary outside right now, raining and 49 degrees. I think the rain's about over, though, after we get through this afternoon. Cloudy tomorrow, a little bit cooler, but then we have lots of sunshine all next week. So next week we're gonna dry out. It's going to be very, very nice, but don't get your hopes up. I don't think winter's through yet.
You don't. All
Right.
Well,
it just began.
if you want to keep up with Sam, he's got a green screen in Olive Branch, Mississippi, fastest growing city in the state of Mississippi, the busiest road in the state of Mississippi.
In OBTV.
He was on CBS mornings, just about everything that he did while he was mayor for 16 years. But he does the weather, and he does the weather for our Nashville Entertainment Weekly, and he does the weather, I don't know how many days, but on Memphis Entertainment Weekly. And if you want to, you don't want to, we love all the weather people. We have really good weather people, meteorologists, I guess is what you call yourselves.
Right.
But he can
Yeah.
get you the weather. He can get it within a minute or two when he's off, and you know what the day's going to bring. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. I didn't know that you're on hold.
Thank you,
Amanda,
Mr. Sam.
Now Amanda Page Cornett in Nashville, Tennessee's on hold.
You're the best. Have a good day, Sam. We appreciate you.
Have a good day.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to take Amanda Page. She just got back from the Carolina Music Awards
Carolina Country Awards. Yes.
with Sweet Tea.
She sang on stage for the second year in a row.
Is she up? Amanda.
I am.
Hey,
I'm here.
we're on a radio show in Memphis. How cool is this?
I know you.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. You got to come in studio. I know it's like
Memphis is a little far from
2 hours and
Nashville.
45 minutes from where you live off White Bridge, if you still live there, and to the studio. One day you'll have to
Yeah,
come
not
to the
too far.
studio.
So
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's not
you
too
were at
far.
the Carolina Country Music Awards for the second year in a row. You were in.
She records
South
in Muscle
Carolina.
Shoals. Everybody, she records her music in Muscle Shoals. That's a huge deal.
I know she does. She has an incredible background. We're gonna jump right into it. Amanda Page Cornett, AmandaPageCornett.com. Let's talk to you. What's going on? We miss you.
I know. I've missed y'all as well. Things are good. We're trying to ramp things up and trying to get back on the road. It's been a little slow as
I got
far
it.
as playing
Yeah,
since
I'm gonna-
COVID, so we're trying to pick that back up now.
Well, the
Yes.
last time we saw you was backstage at the Grand Ole Opry last summer during the CMA week.
That's right. She's busy.
Yeah,
That was a great day.
that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I know. We're gonna have
Lots
to do
of
that
photo
again.
ops.
I know. You meet some really great people all the time, and CMA week is another great week where you get out and you just interact with the best people, and that's what we do with you every year. Of course, we make sure that we get somewhere where we can have great opportunities and do an interview with you on our television show, Nashville Entertainment Weekly.
Don't worry about me. I'm fixing my tea. I got green tea and some Breathe Deep tea. Jill made me promise to back off the caffeine this morning.
I know he's still hyped up though.
I had one cup of coffee and then I went by and Starbucks and just waved at him when I went by. Okay, who's the most famous person you've ever met? Because that's probably a good question for somebody like you. That's
Ooh, most famous person I've ever met. I guess probably. Oh gosh, I guess Charlie Daniels. I met him at a Titans game though.
that's
That
so
is
cool.
cool.
I don't typically germ anybody, but like I definitely went up to him and
You did go up
talked
to
He
him.
was in line.
What was he getting?
Well, I went up to him when he was in line for concessions, so I was like, okay, I'm not bothering him. He's just in line. So.
Well, the way you look, you're so healthy and you always look like a star. So
She
you
does.
have a couple companies because you do have day jobs, which I think really keeps you in the game a lot longer, especially during the COVID. It did.
Amanda is
But-
a fitness instructor, and she is in the best shape. Like, I would never mess
All
with
the
Amanda.
time.
Yeah,
What's
she
the
is
worst thing in your
amazing.
diet
She has the
that you
best
eat?
hair.
Like, what's your
Oh my
cheat
gosh.
food?
What's my cheat food? I mean, I'm honestly like I'm one of those that some people eat to work or work out or eat to work out. I'm more the one that like works out so I can eat what I want.
Right.
I mean, I definitely have a little bit of ice cream every day.
Good.
But I do it in like I do like a serving, like a half a cup.
Yeah.
It's enough to like it's enough to get my craving, and it's not overdoing. And I think that most things in moderation are totally fine.
Do
Oh,
you do
yeah.
like Jenny's ice cream, or do you just go anywhere that has ice cream? What's the place over
I
on
do
Charlotte?
like Jenny's. I actually went there the other day. There's a new Jenny's up on Centennial. A lot of times I just eat at home. Like I'll have vanilla ice cream with peanut butter added to it.
And I can't really keep a bowl of ice cream. Jill goes and gets me the ones at Dollar General.
The little pints.
That are cookies and cream, and I'll eat it. And I just I think it's.
He just gets a spoon and he like munches. He's like, "Why did you get this for me?" So I get him the small ones just so we could cut it back.
But the first time I met you was probably 12 or 13 years ago. We had a SAG commercial we shot for Dollar General Market, and then I noticed you because you look like a star. And then we were there and we stayed up all night long as people in this commercial because they filmed. That was, but I did notice you. And I did, because we were the same agency back then, DS Entertainment. And I did notice that you're eating like super healthy. And I was like, man, this stuff looks good, because they had good stuff and bad stuff. So I just think it's good how dedicated you are with your music, with your work, with you going to muscle shows, with you doing music videos, and you're eating and you're staying healthy. I think the whole package is so important.
It
and
is.
You're a great example of how to do it right. That's why I asked.
Okay, y'all need to just hang out with me all the time so you can just keep building my head up.
Yeah, let's talk about some of your music. So you have an incredible album out, and a lot of the songs we've been promoting to radio. Soldier's Girl, you actually sang at the Carolina Country Music Awards. How was that to sing again? Because I know back in South Carolina, that's where you're from. So I think to sing in your home state, I mean, that's just like a huge bonus.
Oh, it absolutely is. It was wonderful. And House of Blues, I mean, anytime you get to play any of the House of Blues,
that's incredible.
Pretty awesome. So great stage. It's great that I'm connecting now with some of those Carolina artists that are just all really friendly and like they're very much a family. So trying to kind of go from being a distant cousin to like being part of that family. And I think I've started doing that, which is great. And Sweet Tea and Jeff are so great.
We love that.
Their radio station, their promotion of indie artists.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. So it was wonderful. And at least I got to leave the frigid cold for a few days.
You got to go to the warm state. That's nice. I know.
It was warm for about 3 hours, and then I took the cold with me, but it was still a lot warmer than Nashville.
How do you drive?
I flew. That's a pretty long drive. From Nashville to Myrtle Beach is a pretty long drive. I do know, at least I know John Barry and his wife ended up driving because they were worried about the planes going off. But Southwest did a great job. I mean, I got to say they kept us safe, and all my flights were on time, and I was able to catch an early flight back, so I didn't get stuck in the ice, which was great.
I love the picture with you and John Barry. That was so cool. TJ had the opportunity to do a Skype interview with he and his wife a couple of years ago on National Entertainment Weekly. John Barry.
Oh, she was with them in the Carolinas?
Yes.
I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know.
John got the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Carolina Country Music Awards. So.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
What do they think about you when you get there? Because you're not like anybody else. You play electric guitar. I don't even think we're covering that. What you do is so different.
I do. Actually, I didn't take my electric for that show just because it's a lot harder to set up when you're jumping up for one song. But I do play electric. I like to think my sound's a little different than others, and
it is. I
just roll with it. It's kind of developed over the years between my band, the Almost Angels, and me. We've kind of developed it, and I call it Southern Rock and Soul, and that's what I try to do. I try to, if people can feel something, then my goal is met.
And last year you came to Mississippi because we produced the Mississippi Music Awards.
Yeah.
She came, right?
She did. She actually won an award.
I did.
What'd you do with your award?
Won our first award for Southern Rock Band of the Year.
You have a great band.
Awesome.
Let's talk about your band members because you actually stand out another way. You're with the same band members for a long time, and that really shows a lot about you.
Yes, two of my bandmates, Randall Scott Peterson and Sherry Peterson Tunnel, I've been with them for probably over 13 years. And Sherry's twin brother was our drummer, but he went back to Georgia, so we have another drummer who we met actually through a VFW, so he's a veteran, which is really cool to have, Sean Killen. And we love playing together, and we really have fun. And I feel like if people listening to us don't have fun, then they probably should just go home because we're having so much fun. If they have half the fun we are, then they're going to enjoy it.
Well, we get excited. Jill's been pushing your music out to radio for a long, long time, and we've been helping you with your music. But it's really easy because you're dedicated. When you need to get an interview and Jill okay, fine, I'll do it. When you need to go and you do Skype interviews with so many people, you actually have your backdrop and you'll change your clothes.
She has
and
backdrop. She's a professional.
You have your face is lit and your music and your sound and everything is perfection. We try to do Skypes with people. We got a couple this week, and sometimes we spend the first 10 or 15 minutes helping them get set up, and you're
light
there.
on their face.
I think it's a big part of your success. Let's talk about Muscle Shoals, because we're going to have the man in. Why do you choose that? Like, who inspires you from the Muscle Shoals in the area to record down there?
Well, it turned out my really great songwriter, co-writer, and friend, Mark Narmore, is from that area. And so we started writing up here after I met him through Songwriter Girl Camp, which his daughter attended, and I was one of the staff members for. And the first song we wrote, it was funny because it was Between the Judds and Joplin, which has kind of become a staple of my music. And he said, come on down to Muscle Shoals, I'll introduce you to some people. And he invited me down and introduced me to the family, Spooner Oldham, the Fame family, all of the different studios down there, Crescent Moon Sound Studio. And they really, Nut House is where we cut the album. And they really embraced me as part of their family. And I'm very, very thankful for that, because there's something about that area. If you've ever seen the Muscle Shoals documentary, it talks about it, and it's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the musicians still really care about the music, and they care about making it their own, even if they're just coming in to play on your album. And I love that. But the people down there are just really genuinely down to earth, great. And I'm very fortunate that they've invited me and allowed me to stay in their family down there.
What's going on with you in 2024? What do you have in the works?
The goal for 2024 is to
just
get
like,
back
what do you
out
expect to happen? You don't have to say goals.
Get back out
You're
playing.
a champion. Just get out and play.
Well, we didn't play a whole lot in 2023. Different life events between myself and my bandmates, or the bandmates and I. And so we're working to do a lot more booking and connecting with others. We actually, a good friend of mine, Dave Isaacs, and I went out and played
I know Dave. You wrote a book.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
We played the Nashville American Legion Post 82 last night. They have an open mic night, and we're going to be playing their full band in April. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was really nice and refreshing to see people getting up. Many of them veterans that were just trying to express themselves and not being judged. You know, it wasn't like a typical Nashville songwriter night where people are kind of judging everything you say and do. It was very refreshing for it to be so relaxed, without judgment, and just people expressing themselves, because it's healing.
Mm.
Right.
So it was really cool.
You sang the national anthem before for big crowds, and that's got to be, they said that's a tough one to sing. And Reba's going to sing it at the Super Bowl this year. What are your thoughts on that? You think she'll be okay?
Oh, I'm sure she'll kill it.
Everybody loves
Reba. It's one of those things that it's a very long range song. It's like, I think it's 2.5 octaves, which a lot of people have trouble with, which is why it's such a hard song. But it's definitely nerve-wracking when you go to sing it. Most of the time I'd do all right, and one time I definitely repeated part of it twice. And
did you?
It's okay.
Only the people that were there with me noticed it. Thankfully.
You're so cool, man. You just keep moving forward, and that's part of being an actress. Or actress. I get confused on what we say.
Well,
but
I think that probably people in the crowd probably didn't notice it, because, you know, like a lot of times when you're not singing the words but you're singing along,
there you go.
You think, oh, I must have messed up. They probably thought they messed up, even though
put your beer down, Ed. You messed up. Yeah, but that's cool. But that's why they say it's complicated. I didn't know the science behind it. So you say it's 2.5 octaves.
Yeah, it's
I got to Google what that means.
Wide range song, much more than most songs are. So
I thought it was really sweet that you went to the Murfreesboro Baseball and Softball Association, the MBA in Murfreesboro, and you sang the national anthem for those kids. I'm sure they were like,
absolutely,
wow, a Nashville artist. And my sister actually requested you, and hey, Courtney, and she was just like, Amanda's amazing. We have to have her back. So I know that I'm sure that they're going to get it.
And fortunately, this past year it got rained out.
It got rained out. I know.
Monsoons.
We're living through a monsoon right now. Yeah.
You can say anything about songwriters, but a lot of us, like, sometimes to a fault, like to give back and like to use our talents for positive things. And it's a great. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I say to a fault, just because sometimes sometimes some people will abuse that and say, "Oh, come play for free, this and that." But
Yeah,
we enjoy playing for good causes.
Yeah, but you can't pay the bills. There's nothing on the deposit ticket when you go to the bank to pay your rent, and it says,
Right.
"I did some good
Right.
causes." I mean, maybe you get a break on your tax. I don't
Yes,
know.
I'm so glad they were like, no, we're going to pay. And no, that's wonderful.
Do you feel like singing right now?
Everybody should do that.
I don't know. She asked, "Is she going to play?" And I just don't. I don't know what the audio would sound like over your phone.
I don't know.
Here, and
It probably wouldn't sound really
okay.
good.
Let's
over
don't
the
do it then.
headphones,
We're
but-
going to have you in studio someday. You're going to have to make a road trip.
Yeah.
And we'll get you put up at the
Definitely.
Fitzgerald's Casino again, and we'll bring you in the studio. It'd be so amazing to have you, because I think that with Memphis music, we're 15 minutes from Bill Street right now, and Sun Studios maybe 12 minutes. So I think that it would really mean a lot to Memphis to have you. Who is that? Is that
Hey,
your backup
puppies.
vocalist?
Oh, that would be Lolly, my
Lolly.
big girl. They heard a door slam, and I had to move out of the room because I was afraid it would be like an Amazon truck or something. They tried to
Amazon
protect
drives
me
our
from
dogs
all those delivery
crazy.
trucks.
Oh, yeah. Protective
Oh,
puppy. That's so
They
sweet.
hate any delivery truck. I think it's because they come up to the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the mail people, they're fine with.
That's a good
They have
point.
nothing against the mail carriers.
They keep their
Just
distance.
the big trucks that come up.
And sometimes it's for them, because you can get doggy treats and all kind of doggy stuff, and you can get it on Amazon. They just don't know.
Oh,
Really?
I know, but they don't like an intruder coming up to our door.
They're
That's
so
their territory.
protective.
Oh, yeah. Really quick, I want to talk about Soldier's Girl because you sang that at the Carolina Country
Yeah.
Music Awards. And I want to talk about the story behind it because South Carolina is a military town where you're from. It's,
Charleston, South Carolina. Are you from Charleston?
No, I'm actually from Spartanburg, but the Carolinas are very much. There are a couple of bases
Yeah.
for different military institutions in South Carolina and North Carolina, and really, I have a lot of friends that are in the military, and the song came about after I saw a story of a very young veteran and his girlfriend leaving Walter Reed, and people were protesting and flicking them off and calling them names and stuff like that, and that just really, really bothered me. Here's a guy who put his life on the line, got injured,
Yep,
and
exactly.
because somebody didn't agree with why they were fighting, they chose to take it out on him, and that just really struck me. And a couple other incidences I heard of, like, kids going to school and mean kids saying, negative things about, their fathers or mothers being military, and it just really struck me. So I got together with Robert Burgess, and that song pretty much, it wrote itself pretty quickly, but we wanted it to be from the viewpoint of a soldier's wife and
Where can
family.
people-
So it kind of includes the daughter and the wife, and I'm very proud of that song. The best
Beautiful
compliment,
song.
I've had two really cool compliments. One was a close friend of mine who has a military family said, "Were you a fly on our wall last year?" And the other was the most humbling compliment, which I had a lady from Texas message me and ask if they could use it for her brother-in-law's funeral,
Oh,
Who
goodness
who had
gracious.
been killed.
Well,
in
thank you for
accident.
doing that.
And
That's a thing about a
Ooh,
songwriter
that is
that
the-
connects to a song, and there's a story behind the song. Where can people find that
well,
song?
that's like the most humbling, awful, humbling compliment ever. To be asked to use it for that reason.
That's
so.
a heck of a compliment. Thank you for doing that. Where can people find it? Jill, do you want to answer that question? Jill runs your public
Amanda.
relations.
Amanda can answer it. I want to hear it in her voice.
Okay, you can go to AmandaPageCornett.com, no I in Page. You can also go to Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, Google, Yahoo. You can search it anywhere. Just put Amanda Page Cornett in and check out the music. If you like it, please download it, buy the album. If you want a physical album, I actually have those. I know some people don't, but if you want to need merch or a physical album, you can reach out to us at angels@amandapagecornett.com, and one of my team members will make sure that happens, and I will make sure it happens as well. So
I still have my guitar pick.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll always
I
have it.
love those. I think they're
I
so
do
much
too.
better than cards.
It's so cool.
So awesome. We love their guitar pick. It was like, really, we get a guitar pick, and it says Amanda's name on it. This is so cool.
Well, thank you so much for taking
And it's
time on
real
a Saturday
guitar pick.
morning.
So, like,
It
when I go to
is.
people that are musicians, they're like, "Oh, I can actually
It's
use
legit.
this."
Yes.
It's a real deal. It's smart.
It's
You should go
functional.
around flinging it at people. Not Charlie Daniels. You didn't want to fling anything
I
at him
definitely, like,
when he was
at
with
big
us.
shows, like if we have big crowds, like I definitely throw them out into the audience.
That's great.
That is so
It's really
awesome.
fun for me to do.
Well, come and see us in Memphis, or we'll see you in Nashville really soon.
We're going to do an interview, a
forth.
Skype interview with you soon on Nashville Entertainment Weekly because we have to catch up so everybody can see your pretty face.
Yes.
And share another one of your music videos.
Yeah, you're going to go follow Amanda Page Cornett. Have a wonderful Saturday.
Check out her music videos on YouTube. She has amazing music videos.
And we will be talking to you very soon. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Love y'all. It's great to talk to you.
We love you, Amanda. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Mark Randall said he is at Poplar and 240. I was trying to get the time and everything going. He said 10 minutes. So Mark Randall went to Harvard. He's really smart. He always wears a ball cap, and he's got 3 or 4 shirts he likes to change the collection on. He's a writer, and he's really into entertainment. He knows a lot about Johnny Cash's museum. We're going to talk about that. I've interviewed most of the Johnny Cash family, and we were at Jerry Lee Lewis's house. 2 months ago, we went.
Right.
We got invited to a private event. About 2 years ago, I got to go to Jerry Lee Lewis's house when it still has the blue carpet, it still has the wallpaper, and it still has the bar in the back.
I love
But
his
they had a
dining room.
long
It's
dining room
beautiful.
table, and I was there with his goddaughter, and I was talking to them about helping them get the tours built up. And we're sitting there, and I'm like looking around, and there's all these old pictures, and then his bedroom is back in the back, and I said, I know that you live here and you don't see it, but for me, being born in Memphis and having all this respect for all the people that made music such a big deal, it's a big deal for me to be in Jerry Lee Lewis's house. And then he passed about a year and a half later, and now it's on the market, and I just think it's an incredible house. And Jill and I got to go, and we just walked through it a few weeks ago.
The pool outside is in the shape of a guitar. It's really
I did loan them my pool pump.
Sorry, not a guitar, a piano.
A piano. But I did loan them my pool pump. And it's like every time I use my pool pump, now I know that my pool pump, to get it cleaned out, was also using Jerry Lee Lewis's thing. They asked to borrow it. I'm like, yes, of course you borrow it. Then last summer, Doug Cook, who travels the country and the nation and as Jerry Lee Lewis and does a really good job. Philip, we got
he's a
Mark,
tribute artist.
Mark downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's just so incredible. And he and I got to go fishing there last summer. And we went fishing. It's like I've been fishing and caught fish out of Jerry Lee Lewis. It's like I love all the history. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk to Mark Randall about that. We're going to talk. He was at Graceland recently. Really
for Elvis Week.
Yeah.
Elvis's birthday.
So he gets to go out and do lots of things. So we love Memphis. We've got the man from Ardent Studios coming in, and he's been recording there for decades.
We're so excited.
And he was talking about John Prine the other day, and he's talking about, they had Led Zeppelin, they had
Bob Dylan,
U2, Bob Dylan, they've got all these people right here recording music in Memphis. So it's not all about Sun Studios, which is amazing, but it's about all these other people that come to Memphis, just like Amanda Page was talking about when she goes to Muscle Shoals. It's always different. We're talking earlier about
the whole vibe of the city.
Here comes Mark Randall, everybody.
Mark. Drum roll. Here he comes.
All right, man. Mark
Randall from DeSotoTimesTribune.
1037.
In the house.
Perfect time, and actually you're early, dude.
2:40 had me worried, I got to tell you.
It's raining outside. Thank you, Mark.
You're 2 minutes and 12 seconds early.
Really?
So don't talk for 12. Don't talk for 2 minutes.
That's kind of hard.
We're just going to sit here and talk about you, but you can't defend yourself on there.
So Mark,
it's revenge. It's payback for Tiny Duo.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah,
Mark and Kimberly run the paper.
Don't even talk about that
payback.
because I told Jill, I said I could get him back, but I love Mark and I think the world of him. So
Mark is great.
We do a food review around the area around the Mid-South, and it's posted every week.
Don't give our
and he's Batman. No, he's Robin. Sorry, you can look at the similarity.
I'm not Robin. My column, man.
I'm Clark Kent. I used to wear a suit except on Saturdays, and Jill plays Lois Lane, and it's a lot of fun.
That's right.
But he gives me a fit because I eat healthy. Yesterday, dude, I went to Huey's. We love Huey's. I went and I had the biggest plate of nachos, and one of my buddies came over and visited with me, and I'm like, this guy needs to, I really want to talk to you, but I really want to eat my nachos.
TJ loves their nachos.
I'll follow it up with a hamburger and fries. So it's not all about me eating healthy. That was my one day a week that I ate crazy.
The rule is when you go out, you're not supposed to order something you can make at home.
I can make anything
like
at home.
Tree. It's supposed to be a tree.
Jill can bake. But anyway, like Scott.
And you don't get a salad. You don't pay. I love salads.
I love a good salad.
You can make a salad at
I had
home.
the best salad from Houston the other day.
You don't buy a $12 salad.
And Grazzani's Miss Mary salad with some blue cheese crumbles. That's the best salad in the whole wide world.
My salad at Nuke's. We went to Nuke's the other day doing our dining trio because I was a part of it.
That's right.
And my salad at Nuke's was amazing. I had salmon on top of it. But anyway, Mark, let's talk about you.
I want to talk about where I'm going today because you're going to go. We're going to go eat lunch together. Hopefully, you can go eat while you're here.
Where are you treating me?
I don't know. We'll hit a drive-through somewhere. Just get behind me. I'll pay for it.
TJ just.
I won't say my dad's in the car behind me or anything.
Since you made
like
me drive all this way in the rain.
We're gonna go somewhere on Poplar. TJ said there's a couple options around there.
Like down your novel.
Scott Guidry. Scott, if you're listening at home, I just got it right with the design shop.
Guidry.
Hi,
Scott.
He did the architecture. He's doing a lot of architecture right now. Design shop down in South Main. He actually gave me a $50 gift card to the Buster's Butcher, which is like Buster's Liquor, but they opened a butcher shop. He designed the inside of their store.
That's right.
So I forgot. Cool? I'm like, I have a gift card. I'm going to go use it.
But that's gonna be after we dine with you. We're gonna go and
There
we're
might
probably
be
gonna hit
someplace
Whole
cool.
Foods.
You go in there. It's a Poplar and Holland.
Get some
Buster's.
groceries.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. We just talked a little bit about Jerry Lee Lewis. We didn't talk about who we saw in the mirror behind us when we took a selfie. That's for another day. But
at the Jerry Lee Lewis Ranch.
Let's talk about.
That's a Halloween story.
There's so many things that you are in tune with. You're in tune with Graceland and the Jerry Lee Lewis Ranch, but also Johnny Cash Museum. Can we talk about that? Because Johnny Cash actually played at KWAM 50 years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Let's talk about that museum that you keep wanting me to come to.
Yeah, well, Jill, what's cool about it is, he was on KWAM.
I'm going to scoot that in closer to you.
He had his, I know how to be on radio here.
He has a
could travel.
What's your degree in?
Nothing.
Okay.
Anybody want to take over my student loans and adopt me? I'll gladly sell them to you for cheap. But
okay.
Yeah, he wasn't on KWAM. It was KWAM because it was in West Memphis. So he had a 15-minute. Well, he had a 15-minute spot, kind of like you could pay to have a sponsored spot. And he worked for, I believe it was Home Furnishings. He was a door-to-door salesman. He wasn't very good. But they sponsored his show, so he had a 15-minute radio show. I don't know if it was once a week or whatever, but they have the recordings. So there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little museum over at what's now, well, it used to be, Mid-South Community College. Now it's part of Arkansas State now. But yeah, they actually have the recording. They've restored like the little studio, and they have him on the reel-to-reel they found. So
that is so cool.
So yeah, he did. He got it. That's how he got his start.
That wasn't in the movie.
Radio.
That was not in Walk the Line.
No.
About the radio show.
No.
Right.
They got stiffed.
Well, everybody has to make a living.
But a lot of people got their start on this station. B.B. King got his start. Howlin' Wolf got his start.
Jill Santibanez.
Yeah, TJ and Jill. They all got their start, but it was over in West Memphis. People associate them with Memphis, and yeah, that's true. But a lot of times, no. They, Beale Street. We think of Beale Street today as the place that it is with all the nightclubs. But back in the day, they had a curfew. Beale Street closed down at midnight. So what would everybody do? They would come across the bridge and they would party in West Memphis. You had casinos over here. You had brothels, all kinds of stuff.
In West Memphis?
In West Memphis, Missouri Street was actually a pretty.
You live in Arkansas?
Place. I do live in Arkansas. Yeah.
Huh.
So there's quite a bit of history, rock and roll history over here. This is the only radio station, only Memphis radio station that Elvis Presley actually sang on. He didn't. Elvis didn't sing on the radio, but he did on this station. He played on a flatbed trailer in West Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So he's all over. He played in Jonesboro. He played in Nettleton. He played in all these little gymnasiums. It's hard for us to wrap our minds around the fact that all of these guys.
Well, they had to get their start somewhere.
I keep hearing a thump.
That's exactly
What's the thump? I keep hearing a thump.
It's probably me. I get the other
Put your hands in your pockets.
They've had to put bumpers specifically for me. I feel bad. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's definitely me. So sorry.
It's okay.
I forget.
I love that.
Yesterday
Mark
I got called Run DMC.
Run DMC.
So I was
his
thinking,
jacket.
Oh, really?
Yes.
A Puma jacket.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot.
Mark has so much.
There's a lot of there's a lot of history here, and the thing about it, even with Elvis, is I always tell people, well, they recorded it in Memphis, but they all got their start in Arkansas. They learned how to perform in states like little small gymnasiums in places like Arkansas. There's a great story. There's a gymnasium just outside of Jonesboro called Bono, and there was a show where Johnny Cash played and Elvis played. Back in the day, you could literally call up Bob Neal, his manager, and say, "Hey, if you want Elvis to come to your school, call 555-1212," and you could book Elvis. And he would come to your high school gym. So in September 1955, I believe, he came to this little gym in Bono, Arkansas.
This is why you're here, by the way.
This is why
I know.
This is why you're here.
To regale people, to bore
You're
people.
so smart, dude. You're so smart.
The cool thing about it is, he maybe had half a dozen songs out by then, but so he comes to this small little gymnasium. Johnny Cash is there, and people are in the stands, and they dig Johnny. Elvis comes in. All the kids rush off of the bleachers onto the floor. There was so much weight that one of the floor actually sagged. One of the joists actually gave.
Oh no!
And believe it or not, years later, Elvis remembered that. but the Memphis connection right now is that the lady who organized it, her name was Betty Kraft at the time, but she later became Betty Klink, and people in Memphis I know Klink ice cream. They're the ones who had. They're the ones with the big ice. Baskin Robbins. They had the Baskin Robbins here.
Baskin Robbins is awesome.
So,
I love their chocolate peanut butter.
So there are all kinds of stories around my part of Arkansas of Elvis coming to a gym or an armory or some kind of outdoor festival, and that's where he got his start.
Maybe Justin Timberlake will start doing that.
Yeah, I know. Well, he gave his little.
He didn't have to do free concerts.
That's right.
Maybe he can start getting
he's
paid.
hurting so bad he had to do a free one. Yeah, over in Memphis. Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of history. But did you want to know about Johnny? Because Johnny was born.
Well, that was a question about 10 minutes ago. But
I had to get there in a roundabout. I had to get there in a roundabout. I had to get there in
a journalist.
Roundabout way. I've got to tell the story. But he was actually born in Kingsland, Arkansas. But during the Great Depression, they had a program where they would take these displaced farmers and they basically cleared some swampland up near Blytheville and Osceola way. And they got a start. You come in there, they give you 40 acres. You got a 2 or 3 bedroom house. They gave you mule supplies for a year. You had to clear the land. You had to work the land. So he grew up in Dias, Arkansas. As a matter of fact, one of his songs, 5 Feet High and Rising, is about a flood.
Yeah.
And if you also a lot of his other songs where I'm doing it again, aren't I, with my hands?
It's okay.
He's got a lot of cotton references, but his other one would be Pickin' Time. So Johnny Cash grew up in the cotton fields in northeast Arkansas. So if you watch the movie Walk the Line, they filmed a little bit of it in Dias. It was a little self-sustaining colony. They had a little circle. They had an administration building. They had a movie theater. They had a little pop shop where you could go in and the kids could hang out. You could pick up books and have a burger. They had a hospital there. It was a little self-sustaining.
Yeah.
And they were
all farmers.
Yeah, they were all across America from all these new farmers getting their start. So that's where he grew up. And Arkansas State bought his boyhood home. I'm going to say early 2000s, and they restored it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go there today. They've restored the administration, but nice little museum there today. So if you go to Dias, Arkansas, you can see all this. But you can actually go and see the home where Johnny Cash grew up. They restored it, and it looks nice today. And to them, it was a mansion. It's a very simple.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how big is that house?
Not very big. It's I think theirs is a 2-bedroom, a little living room, 2 bedrooms, bathroom. Matter of fact, they didn't even have indoor. No, they didn't have electricity. I don't think at the time. It's got a little dining area, a little kitchen area, but it's out in the flatlands of.
Just like a tiny home.
By counties.
I interviewed Joanna Cash.
Yeah, his sister.
And that's
Joanne,
his sister, and we actually talked a lot about it, and she talked about that.
The Cash family is really good, and that's the great thing about a lot of those old performers is they came from nothing. So Carl Perkins, they were just humble people. The Perkinses, the Cashes, the Presleys, they were just so down to earth. If you could get to Elvis, he wouldn't turn down a fan for an autograph. And I suspect that Johnny Cash was the same way, and Carl Perkins. But there's just so much music history. It was
before social media, man.
Way before.
Some of these people are like social media famous. Yeah. So I think that's so cool.
Famous for being famous.
Famous for being famous.
It was right around when paparazzi got started.
My mom and dad. My mom, they were raised in a house very similar to that, really small, and they had 10 children. And they all picked cotton, and they did, and they got a penny at the end of the day.
There's a really funny story that when the movie came out, this is before Arkansas.
In Arkansas, Jonesboro.
This is before the movie came out. The people who own the home, once the movie came out, then they got a lot of tourists came by. The house was not in good shape.
Oh,
so
no.
he told me one of the owners told me the story. The owner's son told me a story one time. He said we had a woman come by, and she was so excited. She went out into the fields and she was pulling up stalks. I got some cotton from Johnny Cash's land. He said I didn't have the heart to tell her that it was soybeans because there is no cotton there anymore. It's all soybeans.
Well, you got to swap your crops out anyway if you know anything about farming. You can't plant.
But what's really cool too is that they have a Johnny Cash festival every year that Arkansas State puts on. Yeah. So one year it'll be Roseanne, and the next it'll be her brother. But they bring in some big acts. I mean, they've Chris Christopherson. They've had some big acts.
Man,
when is that around usually? Like what season?
It's in the fall.
Okay.
I love that song.
But they have it right next to his house.
Keep on the Mark Randall show, everybody.
So they put up shut up. You're the one who invited me. I'd be home sleeping if it weren't for you.
Great.
I had to drive.
I feel like you talk in your sleep a lot.
Maybe. I don't know.
Did the dogs ever get up and go in another room?
No.
Violet.
Maybe.
I'm just messing with you, dude. That's why you're here. We're talking to Mark Randall.
Okay, so it's in the fall. It's in the fall. This Johnny
it's
Cash.
in the fall, and lately they've had it outdoors. They erect a stage right next to the house. So
cool.
Yeah, it's a neat place to visit.
So they incorporate the house.
Yeah, it's a neat place to visit,
Nice.
and it's not far from Memphis. It's driving distance.
Yeah.
And if you are up that way, there's a great place to eat in a place called Wilson, Arkansas. It's called the Wilson Cafe. So if you're up that way, Go eat at Wilson Cafe
they have
and then
pie?
just drive down and see Johnny Cash's Boyhood Home. It's really a neat piece of history. We're lucky to have it. We
Right.
really are.
Well, we need to reach out to them and bring them in sometime if they make the drive. I've interviewed John Carter Cash and the family and stuff, and they're all just they're not like singing his songs. They're actually doing their own writing and
Rosanna's
singing.
so nice. Rosanna's
yeah.
a really nice person. Joanne's very nice. Tommy's very nice. You know, the whole family, again, it just gets back to those humble roots, and they've stayed humble. And matter of fact, Tommy worked at the movie theater. They have they have one of the projectors there, and I think he might have scratched his name in it or something like that. So it's just a neat little museum.
All right, you went to a movie last night with Rob Rock.
Yeah.
What movie did you see?
DeSoto Arts Institute is this little school for aspiring filmmakers, and it's in South Haven, Mississippi. But Rob's famous in this area. He's done a lot of commercial award-winning filmmaking.
Very talented
for
man.
shorts. Yeah, very talented man. So what he does is he has movie nights once a month on the last Friday of the month, and he picks a movie from the AFI, American Film Institute's top 100. And the one that he invited me last night, and I said, well, what are you going to show? Because he never tells people what he's going to show, because some people say, I saw it, I don't want to go, or some people say, I don't want to watch a black and white movie. So I asked him, what are you going to show? He would only tell me Bogart. So I was like, that could be Key West.
Bogart.
Yeah,
right.
is it going to be, Big Sleep, Key Largo? All he would tell me was Bogart. But last night it was Treasure of Sierra Madre. And,
Never saw it.
Oh, I've seen it hundreds of times. But it's a great, great, great movie. And the people there, he had about a dozen people there. And after the movie ended, he had a little, Q&A where, hey, what'd you think? And, what'd you like? What didn't you like?
But that's education, and he does a really good job.
It is.
We'd
You
love
can
to have
build
him
on
come up
that.
here and say,
Well,
all right, I gotta take you in a whole nother direction.
Sure.
We're going to talk about some movies that are going on right now. There's a premiere or a teaser trailer like a year ago for Rocky 7. I don't think it ever came out. Roadhouse, a remake with Jake Gyllenhaal. Dude, Jake Gyllenhaal that dude works out. I liked his movie Southpaw. I thought that was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
Roadhouse is one of
now
those.
Now it's set down in the Keys.
Yeah, Roadhouse is one of those cult favorite movies.
I have seen it as many times as
Patrick
any movie
Swayze.
on
It's okay,
It's awesome.
but
no, it's
there's
we may find to disagree.
I'm not a prude, but there's just that over the top sex scene that just with Kelly. Was it Kelly Lynch? That's just unnecessary.
I didn't know anything about his sex scene.
So unnecessary, but it ruined the script. I'm not into.
Well, I was going to acting class with Red West.
Oh yeah.
And Bartlett, and then that's when he pretty much was in that movie, and he was talking about it. And then I used to bounce when the Roadhouse came out, and I was bouncing at a club in Memphis. So to me, that was like we watched it. It was like cool. We're like watch for the razor in the tip of the shoe, and that stuff never happened.
There's a connection to that TV show Emergency, because Kevin Tighe is the one who owns the bar.
And that brings me back to another segue. We got the Nostalgia Festival coming in town in June 26th, the weekend around June 6th.
I brought some notes that I wouldn't forget it. It is.
I haven't seen your notes yet.
He sent us his bio last night. I'm like, dude, we're going to wing it.
I didn't send him my bio. I sent you some things that you didn't know about.
Why didn't you send
What's your
them to
favorite
me?
color, Mark?
Because I didn't save it.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going to tell you what side of the bed I sleep on. I'm sorry. My favorite color is red, for those of you who want to know. But yeah, to get back to your
You wear
topic,
a lot of blue.
Well, I just happen to have blue today. I like red. Burgundy and crimson are kind of like my color.
All right,
Nostalgia Festival, June 6th through 8th. It used to be the Memphis Film Festival. And this festival is old. It dates back to the 70s. But it used to be like a gathering of all these old Western.
I went with my dad a lot.
Yeah, all these old Western, B-movie actors and
Alan
Western
Rocky
TV
Lane was
stars.
my favorite.
Well, he was the voice of Mr. Ed. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Mr. Ed, that's Rocky Lane.
Get out of town.
Yeah,
The
former
horse.
B Western actor.
Horse
So
is
it's
a
kind
horse,
of
course.
morphed over the years, because a lot of these stars are dying. So they've renamed it to the Mid-South Nostalgia Festival. So that kind of kicks it up to the 70s and 80s and more modern
That's
stuff.
good.
So, but they're going to have the big one this year for me that I'm interested in is Patrick Duffy from Dallas. I was a 80s child. My mom and dad watched Dallas on Fridays, and because I was the youngest, I was home. So we watched Dallas, and so I'm probably going to turn into a 12-year-old with Patrick Duffy, but he'll be there. Greg Evigan, remember BJ and the Bear?
Yep.
The big rig and had
The guy with the beard?
chimpanzee. I remember him. I remember that show, but he was on a William Shatner show, Tech War.
We're back to William Shatner, everybody.
Listen,
Mark loves William Shatner.
He's a Shatner
Hey,
fan.
TJ,
So
you
I
want to
dropped-
drive to St. Louis and stand in line to get William Shatner?
well, I dropped the name William Shatner because you didn't ask me, Mark, who's the most famous person you've ever met. So who would I have answered, of course?
I knew the answer.
I'm setting you up, of course. So,
Right.
Yeah, William Shatner. Greg Evigan will be there, first-time guest. Patrick Wayne, John Wayne's son, always a great guy.
He's the nice man.
He's like the Cashes and the Presleys and Carl Perkins. He's everything that you would hope his father. I mean, he's the closest thing you're ever going to get to his father.
Yeah.
But he's so fan-friendly and humble and down-to-earth. He talks to everybody, takes pictures with everybody, tells you stories. You can stand there; he'll answer all of your questions. Just a good.
I've met him because of you. Because I've gone I've gone on the Friday because we're usually that's a CMA week, so we're usually in Nashville.
Yep. So he'll be back, and then another fan favorite, Buck Taylor. He was newly.
He's so nice. Is that the artist?
That's the artist. Buck Taylor
Wow.
was newly on Gunsmoke.
He's on Yellowstone now.
He was on Yellowstone. Yeah, they killed him. Well, he died. They didn't kill him. He died. His character died.
He was a cowboy.
He was a
Something's
cowboy.
going to happen.
Yeah, he died in such a great, tender way too, because they were on a roundup, and he kind of passed away in his sleep. He was in his element,
But he was so nice, and he was painting, and he took time with people, and I really enjoyed talking to him.
He's an amazing artist. He does covers for these major festivals, like
y'all should Google his website,
the Fort Worth Stock Show, or something like that. Wonderful guy. He's got some beautiful watercolors from Gunsmoke and just.
But he's in Yellowstone. He's been on Bonanza. He's been in so many different things.
His father was Dub Taylor, so Dub Taylor was in Dub Taylor was just in everything.
So the Nostalgia Festival is going to be in June. They're looking for sponsors right now.
They are. They really could use some help because
they want to bring some great people to town.
Yeah,
right?
they want to bring some more stars. One of which could, hey, maybe if somebody out there hears us and could help out, they would love to bring John Schneider up here. But he was telling me that. It's so expensive to put these shows on now.
Yeah.
They spent
Whispering Woods Hotel in Olive Branch.
Yeah, it's at Whispering Woods in Olive Branch. He said their hotel costs last year were $12,000 more than the year before. So it keeps going up, up, up. And this year, unfortunately, their fan favorite Robert Fuller from Emergency and Laramie and
we saw him at the
he's not going
Cool
to be
Springs
here.
Brewery.
Yeah, he brings his own. He's got a whole fan club called the
Dude, he's got an entourage.
He's got an entourage. Man, he packs the place. They will come all over the country for Robert Fuller.
They will.
But he's 90 years old, lives in Texas, and he wants a break. So he's not going to be there, and it's really sad.
Like Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale you met a couple weeks ago. He's 90. Let's talk about him real quick.
Wink Martindale, the connection with him, of course, is he's originally from Jackson, but he had he was a local DJ. He was in the studio the night that they first played "That's All Right, Mama." So he wasn't supposed to be there. He just happened to stop by that night. He was showing some friends from out of town the studio. That's neat. And Sam Phillips had come in with a new acetate. It was "That's All Right, Mama." So here he gave it to Dewey Phillips. Now Dewey Phillips had Red Hot and Blue.
That's what we were talking about at dinner the other night.
Yeah,
we found a friend that's related to Dewey Phillips.
Well, Red Hot and Blue was the show to be on. It played, it was the show. So Sam Phillips gave him the record. He played it. And the phones went crazy. The phone lines lit up.
Great song.
So Wink was there, and Dewey's like, "Get him on the phone." So he made the phone call to Elvis's mother and said, "Hey, where's Elvis? We want to interview him." He was in a movie theater. He was so nervous that his song was going to be played. He was in a movie theater. So Vernon and Gladys had to go get him from the movie theater, and they interviewed him. But yeah, Wink was there that night. And during birthday week, they I won't go into the whole story, but Graceland has what they say is the original acetate. And Wink was there, so they played it for the first. They bought it at an auction. They played it, and Wink was there, saying, "Hey, I was there." And Wink is the only one left alive. Yeah. And then he also had the dance party. It was a show that you'd come on and lip sync, and the kids would kind of like Dick Clark's Bandstand.
Yeah.
And but Wink also
kind of like TRL on MTV.
But
Jill.
Wink and Elvis stayed friends over the years, and actually. Wink is one of the few people who interviewed Elvis when he was in the Army. Elvis called him from overseas and was on his radio show.
We got to get Wink in our studio one Saturday.
Wink would be really good.
Yeah. He's only in Jackson.
And there's another Wink connection to Elvis, too, because Wink's wife, Sandy, dated Elvis. And I think I'm not sure which movie she was in, but I think she was in one of the Elvis movies, and she actually dated Elvis. So there's that whole connection.
Is there anybody that did not date Elvis? Did you? You're too young. You didn't date Elvis.
Yeah,
Jill, she's too young.
You went to the guest house in Graceland, and
I'd love to have been
I heard
around.
you had a really good meal there.
Oh, yeah. When the guest house opened, I'm going to say maybe 6 years ago. But, yeah, they have a restaurant there. I think it's EP's Bar and Grill. But, yeah, they have folks.
They have really good food.
Folks, they've got one of the best hamburgers in Memphis.
Your buddy Brad sang there.
Yeah, my pal Brad Burkett. He's the entertainment there usually on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays. And Brad plays on. Brad's famous in Memphis because he was with a group called the Dempseys. Has a music note on Beale Street. But Brad plays.
Cool.
Brad plays Wednesday nights at Blue City, and he has a stripped down version at the guest house at Graceland on Fridays and Saturdays. Great guy. I've known Brad for a while. I go see him as often as I can. He's just
and a music note I feel is like
we got like 20 seconds. We have to close it out.
Big deal. Yeah.
Yo, we want to thank everybody for listening to what we're doing here at Memphis Entertainment Weekly. If you want to be a part, reach out to us. What's our email?
MemphisEntertainmentWeekly@gmail.com.
You want to sponsor what we're doing? You want to come and talk about Memphis Entertainment? We'd love to have you. Thank you so much. for being part of them. TJ Cates,
Jill Santibanez,
special
and
guest.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Mark Randall.
Mark Randall.
The mighty 990, 107.9 FM, 990 AM, KW.